We open up on January 14th, 1978, as a man is shaving his beard creepily before getting ready. He leaves the motel and arrives at a store where he pickpockets unaware people. When he comes up short on cash, the cashier demands to see his ID, and we see that the man on the card doesn't resemble our man at the counter. After getting his drink, he sits in his car, and we see him stalk a woman whose card he stole. He watches her as she talks with her friend, oblivious to him, but her friend notices and goes to check him out. He leaves before things escalate. While driving, he comes across some cheerleaders in front of a sorority house and stops to stalk them as well. He continues to watch them as a girl, Lori, is dropped off by her mother. The man flirts with one of the girls, Meredith, telling her he is a student as well and wants some help with the task. He tells her he will need her help as he is injured, and she seems to go along with his idea. He introduces himself as Ted. As she follows him, he opens the trunk while making lame jokes. But when he sees a girl watching them, he abandons his scheme and leaves in a hurry. But Meredith, being naive, tells him she will be free tonight so he can come then. As Ted is leaving, he asks for an address from a woman named Kelly, who seems to be in a hurry to leave with her douche boyfriend. Inside the car, Ted seems to lose it while the woman from the window continues to watch him. Back in his room, he is talking with Liz, who tells him to change and turn himself in, but Ted says he will not go back as he is apparently innocent. She sends him money while sounding reluctant and afraid. Ted picks up his shady equipment and leaves to go to the house where he met Meredith. He creeps up to the window and listens to their conversation. He makes his way around and spies on the girls, who are all enjoying sitting around through a sliding door. As the girls continue their gossip and group meetings, Ted looks around for a way in. He comes across Kelly's room, where a girl, Darlene, enters and calls the library to check if her books have arrived. Outside, the creepy dude Ted is still hanging around when he sees the girl Sonia, who was looking at him earlier through the window, along with Lori and Darlene, talking about getting a job. When he comes across a girl folding her undergarments, we get a bad aura from Ted, sensing that he will do something bad to this girl. Now it's getting dark outside, and we see that Ted is right outside the bathroom, creeping on a young girl. But it turns weird when she starts to mutilate herself while looking as if she enjoys it. This starts to turn even more gruesome as she cuts her head off and starts to do some pretty messed up stuff with her body. We soon realize all of this is just Ted's imagination as the girl is safe inside. Hearing the police sirens, he jerks out of his daydream and runs to his car. At around 6:30 p.m., he goes to a pub and sees Meredith there, hanging around with a dumb college dude. Another woman approaches the bar and sits right in front of Ted. He hits up a conversation with her, and with his charisma, he is able to bring her under his charm. We learn that her name is Nancy. She asks him what he is doing here, to which he just says that he is here for the company and jazz, but we see that one of her comments about music irks him. He asks her to leave with him, but on her refusal, he just starts to call her bad names. Hearing this, the bartender warns him to keep his behavior in check. Ted angrily leaves the bar, but as he is leaving, he comes across his wanted poster. In the bathroom, we see him smoke to calm himself, and in a second, he seems to go into a daze as he exits the bathroom to go to the bar. He gets himself another drink despite the bartender's hesitance. Now almost 10 p.m., he sees some college girls arrive. He continues to stare at them, making them uncomfortable, but they continue to talk. The bouncer at the bar notices this weird behavior. Ted goes on to watch them as they enjoy their drinks, which finally makes them get up to leave, but Ted approaches them, asking for a dance. They start to dance, but soon Meredith gets uncomfortable, prompting the bouncer to intervene and kick Ted out. Outside, as he is leaving, he hears news that makes him run to call someone. When no one picks up, he starts to get frazzled and angry, but finally, after calming himself, he goes to his car and drives off to the same sorority house where he sees a girl leaving. He creeps inside the house again and sees the girls from the bar, all drunk and acting like idiots. Ted enters the house through one of the sliding doors, and we see him wandering around while holding a log. He looks in the bathroom and finds the beautiful black girl from before. Rushing away to hide after she gets out, he tries to hit her, but she re-enters the bathroom. Going into another room, he sees Lori sleeping. He chokes her before he literally starts to viciously bite her. He also abuses her, which makes the poor girl cry in pain. This goes on for too long, making the poor girl pass out. Roaming the corridors again, he finds his next victim and kills her. He goes into another room and sees some girls sleeping. He starts to bash their heads when suddenly a car arrives, making him run away to hide. He sees two girls talking about seeing a guy in the hallway when they are interrupted by an injured Lori. They scream in fright as they call 911, which makes Ted finally get the hell out of there. Frantically driving, he goes to a suburban house. Wearing a creepy mesh mask, he creeps inside the house as we see a woman working in the kitchen. It's the same woman we saw earlier at the start of the movie. As she sits down to watch TV, Ted, like a pervert, looks through her undergarments while laying down on the bed. Getting done with his urges, he goes out and strangles the woman before brutally punching her. Just then, A phone rings while knocking can be heard on the door. Having a meltdown, he starts to choke the woman but runs away in time when her friend arrives and calls 911. Later on, we see Ted sitting inside his car with a dead expression on his face. He enters the motel room from the start and starts to laugh before taking a shower to wash off all the blood. On the other hand, we see the police arrive at the sorority house while a reporter goes on a rant. The detective approaches the traumatized girls and asks one of them, Norma, about the man she saw in the hallway. They continue to ask them questions, and we get a sense that they think it was Ted Bundy who did it. The detective gives a press conference about the killer, and shockingly, we see Ted right there looking nonchalant. Later on, Ted drives on an abandoned road, and we learn that he was found by the dental records from the bites he left on Lori. We end the movie with real-life footage of what happened during the trial of Ted Bundy.